Okay, take two to this evening stream here with Mobile Mailbox Money, Silvercrest Opportunity Fund, and Win Mobile Homes. Uh, got back from Business Network International today, talked to two private lenders, and took about $300,000 in capital commitments, soft commitments at that, of individuals taking advantage of performing liens on seller financed manufactured housing and affordable housing across the nation, but here in Arizona, case specifically. Today, if I can't get this to work for me here real quick. We've got multiple immediate opportunities available in cash flowing lien positions or fix and flip short-term lending, private lending at a double-digit interest rate. And here's what that means. Instead of buying property and dealing with tenants, toilets, and turnover, you could be the bank. And I've talked about doing a HELOC this morning, talked about how investors are having truly challenged trying to find cash flowing opportunities to parlay their cost of capital out in the market. So if you're like most investors I talk to right now, you're probably thinking the same thing. Where do I put my capital without getting crushed by market chaos? And real estate really feels overheated. Quote Jerome Powell himself, interest rates are all over the place right now. Let's not even get started on the stock market. Every day it's a meme, rally, or meltdown. So shout out to my day traders out there out riding the waves. But for us as capital investors who are too busy to pay attention to the stock market, sounds a little too risky for me to go to lunch and then end up losing $20,000 because I didn't pay attention to a ticker. That's why smart money, the institutional players, family offices, accredited investors are shifting their strategy. What are they doing? They're moving from owning the asset to owning the paper. In other words, they're becoming the bank, being a private lender with the collateralized lending opportunity. So here's what that means. Instead of buying the property and dealing with tenants, toilets, and turnover, the land and the note, which is collateralized with the promissory note and the lien position, they hold that document. It's a first lien position backed by real property, manufactured housing, or affordable housing across the nation, and it pays every month no matter what the S&P does. So contrary to tariff uncertainty and market fluctuations, you receive a contractually agreed upon return backed by equity cushion in a actual collateral and first lien on backed by a property at the end of the day. So when you own the paper, you're not hoping for appreciation. Why? Because you need to watch out for that, as appreciation has plateaued here in the valley, but you're collecting principal and interest payments, structured payments that don't care if interest rates fluctuate or tariffs get slapped on imports next week. Meanwhile, some investors are stuck stress testing 14 different scenarios in Excel. What if the Fed pauses? What if the Fed cuts? What if the Fed sneezes? Their spreadsheets have more tabs than deals. Don't be a habitual educator. There's return on investment. It's not theoretical. These are performing notes on affordable housing in in-demand areas. Let's simplify this, okay? When you invest in real estate notes, especially on manufactured housing, here's what happens. You're in first position if there's a default. You control the asset. You're collecting monthly payments just like a mortgage company would. You're not dealing with maintenance, evictions, or market volatility, and you're not in an asset class that doesn't react to headlines. You're in an asset class that doesn't react to headlines the way Wall Street does. Tariffs, they don't stop people from paying their homes. Interest rates were already locked in. The result, consistent cash flow while everyone else is still trying to figure out if they should buy another Airbnb or park their cash in a CD. Sounds not like a great opportunity to me because appreciation is staved. Short-term rentals are highly saturated depending on the market. And rental rates, are under pressure right now. So as the largest dealer of manufactured housing here in Arizona, and as we bridge our our partnership to the Florida market. In 2026, the chaos isn't going away. It's just adding to the flame with tariffs. Inflation rates, they'll keep moving the headlines. But when you own the paper, you're collecting checks, not chasing markets. That's why smart money is becoming the bank. And you can become the bank today. Actually, in a note just like this, that we have immediately available, providing a collateralized lending opportunity for our capital investors. I did this just before my mic wasn't on, but actually you could buy this note. You could step into a private lender in the next 48 hours and help us participate in a fix and flip strategy with ample equity cushion on a 70% loan to value current loan we are seeking, or you're going to position yourself as the bank on a real property asset in the Florida market for $115,000. In exchange, we provide you a double-digit interest rate. The loan we're seeking is a 10% interest-only loan that's collateralized by the property. And you could step into a position just like that, as a 70% loan to value and potential of a first right of refusal of a double-digit seller finance note, a stable performing note, underwritten and qualified borrower on a quality asset and collateral in the Florida market, an affordable home for an individual, a hedged position as the bank comps are sufficient for our after rehab value at 160, 170. There's high demand for affordable housing. Seniors are looking for active retirement. I just saw something the other day that Florida's still a growing market. Contrary to popular belief, it's important to know that we've validated the insurance to make sure that that's not an issue in a property just like this, and it's not, to ultimately ensure our position if we end up seller carry financing. The docs are ready, note agreement ready to go, recorded, first lien position. You could acquire this note today at mobilemailboxmoney.com. If you have an IRA, solo 401k, or just with an LLC, you could start stepping into a private lending component and start cash flowing in as little as a 30-day program. That's what we're doing today. Today is brought to you by Silvercrest Opportunity Fund. Invest accredited and earn a 10% net return for a 1-year term or 12% net for 3 in an income-oriented investment strategy. Investing like Warren Buffett. In note investing, the only stress test is, did the check clear? Spoiler alert, it actually did. Appreciate you watching today. Go back, view the podcast, the vlogs, like, comment, follow, and subscribe. Start taking one step closer to your position of financial freedom. Have a great evening.